Hi, and welcome back to my channel. So today's coaching video, I'm going to be talking about when it's time to go. And this is part one. I'll give you part two next week. So this article was put out by the domesticshelters.org, and I thought it imperative to share it with you just because you never know who may need this information. So keep your getaway bag in a place where your abuser cannot find it, such as at a trusted friend's or neighbor's house. Also, hide an extra set of car keys somewhere that you can easily access them in case your abuser takes your keys to prevent you from leaving. If you have pets, take them with you, and when possible, or think about someone you can trust who could take care of them before or when you leave. Walking out the door and away from an abuser or kicking an abusive partner out the door, if so inclined, is seldom as easy as it sounds. See, it sounds easy when we say you need to just kick that man or that woman to the curb. It's easier said than done. Abusers thrive on power and control. And having their victim leave them is the ultimate loss of control. Because if I leave, guess what? He has nobody to control, right? Or she has no one to control. Hence, abusers will often make it as difficult as possible for survivors to extricate themselves. But as it is possible, leaving an abuser can be the most empowering and life-saving decision a survivor can make for themselves and any children that may be involved. When you're ready, the key to leaving safely is preparation, and that starts with a safety plan. So it's best to create a safety plan customized to your unique situation with the help of a trained domestic violence advocate. Their expertise and know-how will help you leave a dangerous situation in the most calculated and smart way possible. An advocate will help you locate resources in your area, including shelters, counseling, lay legal advice, court assistance, and support groups. Only you know. So creating a safety plan includes figuring out when to leave, where you're going to go, what you'll take, and how to keep these details private from your abuser. These decisions are yours and yours alone to make. Nobody can make them for you. I can't make them for you. Only you can do that. As a survivor, only you can say when is the safest time to leave because you know your situation. And only you know where you will feel safest to go. For some women, this may be a shelter temporarily while they secure a more permanent living situation. Some survivors leave with only the clothes on their back, while others are able to pack a bag ahead of time that they can easily locate, retrieve, and take with them when they're ready to escape. Women'sLaw.org suggests the following things be included in their bag, but keep in mind, not all of these suggestions will be feasible for everyone, and some may even put a survivor in greater danger. Do what you think is best to keep yourself and your children, if you have them, safe. So here's your packing list. A spare set of keys, your driver's license, and or your passports, credit cards, and some cash, enough for transportation, food, and lodging for a few days. Your abuser may cancel your credit cards, or they may try to track you through your credit card purchases. So keep that in mind. I would suggest that you open up a bank account if you're able to. Let me say this: if you're able to, apply for a credit card that your husband knows nothing or your significant other knows nothing about. Have that bill sent to someone else's home, and so in the event that you have to leave, you can use that credit card and they'll never see it. Or if you're not able to, for whatever reason, open up a bank account at a bank that they know nothing about. Open up a checking account, get you a check card with the Visa logo. You can use it the same way. The key is that they not have access to those accounts so that they can track where you are. Your work permit, and this is if this applies to you, a work permit, green card, or immigration papers, again, only if it applies to you. Government benefits card, if you have one. Phone numbers for friends, relatives, doctors, schools, taxi services, and your local domestic violence organization. Taking your cell phone will allow your abuser to track you. If you have a family plan, you can be tracked that way because they can go and look at your call history to see what numbers you're calling, and they can call those people back if they know those people. And guess what? If they're looking for you, they don't care if they know that number or not. They're going to call it anyway and say, hey, have you talked to Michelle? You see what I'm saying? So They can track you that way. Now, a lot of couples have their separate phones. One may have AT&T, one may have Sprint. If that's the case, you're good. You have nothing to worry about. But if you all are on the same plan, I would suggest you do one of two things. Either get you a Go phone where you're paying to have some minutes on that phone. You use that. They can't track you. Or if you were on a plan with your significant other, get you service with the phone by yourself that they don't have any access to, nor do they have any knowledge of. And that way you're still good to go. Okay? A few changes of clothing for yourself and your children if you have children. If you have small ones, you need to make sure you have some infant formula and diapers. You need to bring comfort items to help your children feel safe because they've been uprooted. They have no idea what's going on. Some of them don't, some of them do, but you want them to feel safe. So bring something that will bring comfort to them. If you're bringing a pet, you need to bring pet food, leashes, and vet records for any animals that you're taking with you. Preferably, I would suggest that you don't. You will either have to leave the pet behind or make sure you can drop that pet off with a family friend or a relative or something like that. Any medication or vitamins that you typically take, please, please, please take your medicines with you. Important documents or copies of them for both you and your children, including birth certificates, social security cards, school records, immunizations, pay stubs, bank account information, marriage license, your will, your mortgage papers, lease agreement, insurance information. Please have those things with you. If you have an order of protection, hopefully you're able to get one ahead of time. If not, that's fine too. But if you have it, bring that with you. Any evidence you've been collecting to show that you've been abused, photos of injuries, police records, medical records, or a journal or a log, bring those things with you. And last but not least, a few personal items you may want to keep, like photo albums, jewelry, etc. I'm going to make sure I list these things in the description box, so if you didn't get a chance to write them down, don't worry about it. As you're packing, as you can see, the things that I listed here, or I should say the things that are recommended by the domesticshelters.org, are things that you absolutely need. Do not try to take everything in the kitchen sink with you, okay? Just don't. Do not try to take your whole wardrobe of clothes. You don't have time and you don't have the space because you don't know where you're going to end up. Unless you already know that you have a friend maybe 2 states over that you can go and stay with. Excuse me, they don't mind you bringing all your closet with you, then that's fine. But I would say stick to the basics, keep it simple, because the goal is for you to get away and to get to safety. So that's all I have for you guys. And it's really sad that we even have to talk about these things. It really is, but there are some crazy people out there and you've got to protect yourself, okay? Now, before I leave, I had a story that I wanted to share with you. My sister and I were on the phone, I think it was about a week ago now, and we were talking and she said, "Oh, wow." I said, what's wrong? She said, "I was reading this article where a woman who was in the military, she and her husband had been estranged. She had a stay away order and everything, and she lived on base. So he was able to get on base." I said, "Well, how can he get on base?" She said, "Well, because legally they're still married. So he has ID to be able to, as her spouse, he has his ID to be able to get on the base." And so he was able to get on the base, went to the house, and he killed her. That was so sad. It just really broke my heart. And I don't even know that lady. And it broke my heart because too many people are losing their lives because of insecure people. See, it boggles my mind that someone tells you they don't want to be with you anymore, and you get angry and upset, and you decide, well, if they don't want to be with me, they won't be with anybody, and you want to kill them. Why do you want somebody to stay with you that you treat like crap, and they want a better life, but you get mad because they don't want to keep putting up with your crap? Something is wrong with you. Not you all, but I'm talking about people that think that way. Something is wrong with that individual. But they don't see that they need help because they get off on making other people miserable. I am thankful that I didn't have to witness that growing up. I'm thankful that I'm not in that kind of a relationship, but I want to encourage you, if you are, and it's not just women, because some men go through this kind of stuff too. If you are in that type of relationship, I want to encourage you to get out, seek help, because that is not good for you. It is not good for you. And I'm going to say this one more thing and then I'll leave you be. As I was sitting here, I was thinking about the movie. Some of y'all may not even know what I'm talking about, but many of you will. Many years ago, Farrah Fawcett, I believe it was in a movie called The Burning Bed. And her husband, I remember seeing that movie, I think when I was a teenager, but it was an older movie even then. But anyway, her husband was physically and verbally abusive to her. I mean, he was whooping her tail. Let's just keep it all the way real, even in front of his kids. Girlfriend decided that she had had enough one day, set his tail on fire, put her kids in that car, and they went on off. And it's a shame that things had to end that way, but I honestly believe if she tried to leave him, he would have hunted her down. See, I think for him, he enjoyed making her life miserable. Nothing she did was right. Nothing she said was right. And it's sad because even though that, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that movie was based on a true story. I really, really do believe I read somewhere that it was based on a true story. And it's really, really sad, especially when you go to great lengths to abuse your wife in front of your kids. That's sad. It's horrible. So we've got to do better. If you know that you are the abuser, I want to encourage you to go seek some help. Find out where that comes from. Seek the help that you need, because ultimately one of two things will end up happening. Either you're going to go too far one day and end up killing that person, or that person's going to say, look, enough is enough. I'm tired. And they're going to kill you. So if you are an abusive person, again, please go seek some help, because you don't have to live that way. And that person that you're abusing, they don't deserve it. They really don't. So that's all I have for you guys. As always, thank you so much for my newest subscribers. Thank you so much for those that continue to support me in all that I do. If you stumbled on this video by accident and you're not already subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, it's a sad day when we have to talk about these things, but they're very real. So, here's your call to action. If you have ever been in an abusive relationship, comment below, because you never know. Actually, let me finish. If you've ever been in an abusive relationship and you were able to get out of it successfully, comment below, because you never know when something that worked for you could potentially help for someone else. Okay? And if you need somebody to talk to, you guys know you can always reach out to me. My information will be in the description box below. Let's talk about it. Let's get you the help that you need. Until then, take care.